Hey there, earthly beings, beautiful souls. Goddess Phoenix Sky here, along with Mama Isis. Could do that. Along with my book. Excuse me. I wrote a book. I wrote actually 4 books. I'm a 4-time published author. And my book is 365 Days of Affirmations for the Mind, Heart, Body, and Spirit. And it's 365 affirmations which I created to tell my story of how I turned my adversities into victories, trauma into triumph, and so on and so forth. And every day it's a different affirmation to keep you uplifted and motivated. So self-motivation, self-love. So thanks for visiting my channel as always. And you know what this is about. Messages and love from the goddess, from the divine mother. This channel is for those who would love to connect with Mama Isis and work with her, or just connect with her, get to know who she is, as well as experiencing her unconditional love, compassion, acceptance. The gift that she blesses us with, her love, is just amazing. So let's see what is in store for us. Mama Isis, I summon you to come forward and be in my presence, in my space. Wrap your arms and wings around me and give me the messages and the guidance that I need to give your community. Thank you. Okay. So, Goddess Isis empowers you to set powerful boundaries with those around you. She empowers you to trust yourself and your intuition, to see people exactly for who they are. She empowers you to take a look at the parts of you, the parts that you play in lives of others, and take full ownership of them. She's also a disciplinarian. So that's what this card is saying. It's saying that she empowers you to set boundaries with those in your life. So I had to learn how to set boundaries because I wasn't brought up with boundaries. I was just taught to do this for this one, do this for that one, go the extra mile, be this way for this one, be this way for that one, be the good girl. And in my life, not that I didn't realize that I had to stand up for myself, but there were no boundaries set in my home. So I didn't know how to express my needs and my wants and my desires, and I didn't know how to say no. That word no was so foreign to me, and when I started saying no, it was so difficult. It was fucking difficult because I felt so guilty. And so setting boundaries is something that's important. It's part of self-love. It's part of your integrity, your character, who you are as a person. It's honoring yourself, honoring your truth, honoring the fact that you will not tolerate and accept bullshit from yourself as well as other people. That's the representation of boundaries. So if you haven't set boundaries, start practicing setting boundaries and give yourself some grace and some time when you're setting boundaries, because boundaries are not easy. Because if you're a person who's a yes person, a people pleaser, like Oprah Winfrey said, disease to please, it's hard for you to set boundaries, but it can be done. You have to believe in yourself and believe in your worth and your value. And the other thing about that when it comes to setting boundaries is honoring your worth, believing and trusting in your worth, that you're worth yourself, you're worth being respected, you're worth being loved, you're worth being taken care of, so on and so forth. You get the gist. So she empowers you to trust yourself and your intuition, to see people for exactly who they are. That is the other thing. Me being an Aquarius and a light worker, healer, intuitive, whatever you want to call me, goddess, I tend to see the good in everybody. The good in everybody. It could be the mass murderer down the street. I'd be like, but listen to his story. You know, he's been through some shit in childhood, and maybe it's not his fault that he's turned into this axe murderer. And so she's saying to empower yourself to trust your intuition and trust yourself to see people exactly for who they are. See people exactly for who they are, and know if you can love them from afar, feed them with a long spoon, as they say, if you can be in your space. And the one thing my girlfriend talks about is when you see people for who they are in life, you have to learn how to categorize people. There's people you can go out to dinner and have drinks with, and those people you may not be able to tell your deepest, darkest secret to. There's people who will hold you accountable and help and build you up. There's people who are envious of you, that hate you, but they want to be around you. So it's compartmentalizing and categorizing who those people are. Once you see them for who they are, once you get to know who they are on a deeper level, once they take off their mask and show it to you, disbelieve who they are. Like Maya Angelou says, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. So She empowers you to take a look at the parts of you that take a look at the parts you played in the lives of others and take full ownership of it. So I recently am still going through my healing journey as always, and I am becoming much more aware, conscious of who I am as a person and the parts I played in other people's lives and who I hurt, who hurt me. And recently I had to release the ego, and I had to humble myself and write forgiveness emails to certain people in my life who I've hurt. Now, it wasn't the fact that I wanted them to be back in my life. What I was doing is I was holding myself accountable and responsible for the fact that I hurt them and asking for forgiveness. Not that I want to be in their lives anymore, because I don't, but because that journey's come to an end, and sometimes you have to know when your journey comes to an end. But I had to own up to the part that I played of why, in which I was acting the way that I was acting, who I was at that point in time, and explaining to them that part of me no longer exists, and she was who she was back then, and I had to apologize for all of the things that I did to hurt that person. Whether or not they accept the apology, it's not on me. Whether or not they forgive me is not on me. I had to hold myself responsible and accountable, and that's what she's saying. She empowers you to take a look at the parts you play in the lives of others and take full ownership of them. So if you hurt someone and you know you hurt someone, you're consciously aware that you hurt somebody. Like Brene Brown says, you got to clean that shit up. So it's time to clean that shit up, and it's time to really look at life and see the parts that you play, because as human beings, we have a tendency just to blame other people and say, she did this to me, she did that to me, but you giving your power and your permission to that person to do whatever to you. You made a choice. Your choice was to allow that person to do XYZ. The other day, I was having a conversation with my mom, and I was telling her that our relationship was not what it was cut out to be. And in my mind, it was just like a fantasy relationship. And I had these expectations, and I consciously kept going back and forth and was not respecting that she could only love me through her own capacity, the only way she knew how. And I had this expectation in my mind that the love that I wanted from her, she had to give it to me. And so I had to be honest with myself and stop lying to myself and accept the truth, that the truth is my mom can only love me this much, and I'm expecting that much from her. And to piggyback off of that, I was looking at a post that a friend of mine sent me, and Oprah Winfrey had asked T.D. Jakes, why didn't her birth mother love her the way that she wanted? And T.D. Jakes told Oprah, you're a gallon, your mother's a pint. So she could only love you from the pint. And even if she did love you from the pint that she is, that would not fill you up because you're a gallon. And that hit hard for me, and I was like, oh my God, like that is so true on so many levels, that I am a gallon. I'm huge. I'm bigger than life. I'm larger than life, and that was my purpose, and that's how I am. And this is why I'm doing this YouTube channel. That's why I'm sharing my story. That's why I'm exceptionally resilient. That's why I'm able to help people the way I help people, because I've been through it and then some, and I wasn't the person to be bitter. I always had unconditional love and compassion, even for those who hurt me. I still have unconditional love and compassion, and that really represents who I am as a spiritual being, having a human experience, a goddess. And so that's why I do what I do. So Goddess Isis empowers you to set powerful boundaries with those around you. She empowers you to trust yourself and your intuition, to see people for exactly who they are. She empowers you to take a look at the parts you play in the lives of others and take full ownership of them. So be sure to do that in your life, because it is necessary, especially if you're learning more about yourself and you want to grow into a better person. That's how to do that. So now I'm going to give an incantation from the Isis Oracle. And an incantation is a prayer, a mantra, or affirmation that you would say when you want to call Mama Isis into your space and your presence, depending on what it is that you're going through. So I'm just going to flip it and see what incantation pops up. And of course, again, is the power over 7 scorpions, power to conjure lower vibrational energies. And so it says you are being initiated into the magic of conjuring to have power to affect lower vibrational forces through your own will and spoken word. You are guided to use this powerful gift with compassion and discernment, with mercy and non-judgment. You can then manage any toxicity in your life swiftly and with great effect. So the incantation is, it says you can say the words of power with conviction in your heart and then forget about it and be patient. Your clarity and empowerment to heal effectively will come. So it says, over any poison, big or small, I can heal and repair. My words have power over all. I do not entertain despair. I name the truth within and around me with deep compassion and clarity. The pain of life bothers me no longer. I exercise with love my power to conjure. So that is the incantation you can say when you're going through some things and you want to be able to go through your healing process, heal the heart space, and you would like Mama Isis to help you with it. Call her Mama Isis. Mama Isis, I call you into my space. Mama Isis who has my greatest and most amazing intentions for my life. And then you say, over any poison, big or small, I can heal and repair. My words have power over all. I do not entertain despair. I name the truth within and around me with deep compassion and clarity. The pain of life bothers me no longer. I exercise with love my power to conjure. So we are conjured beings. We can definitely do all of the things that we want in our lives with love and compassion and setting boundaries as well. So the other thing that I want to do is I want to give you an affirmation from my book. Like I said, it's on sale for $22, normally $29.95, and it's autographed as well. And it's affirmations, but I'll go ahead and I will flip one. So the affirmation is day 187, and it says, I do not feel the need to point fingers and blame others for my faults and actions. I remind myself that when I do this, there are 3 fingers being pointed back at me. It goes with the card. She empowers you to take a look at the parts you play in the lives of others and take full ownership of them. So, alignment. Everything is alignment. So, I truly affirm that this helps. Again, I offer 30-minute Goddess Isis motherly experiences with me and Mama Isis. I am her spiritual liaison. And it's 30 minutes of you connecting with Mama Isis through me, through my deck. My very own deck, which is on sale for $36, and also the Isis Oracle deck. And the description, it's in the description box below. Have an amazing day.